Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be decorating 2 additional rooms for fall of 2025 in my home. If you missed the first 3 rooms, there were 3 in the first video, my entryway, my office, and my dining room. So definitely go watch those so that you can kind of see like the decor and how it's gonna also flow into today's spaces, which is going to be the media room and the living room. Obviously, you can tell that I've got some movie posters behind me, so this is my media room, and I'm very excited to be decorating it once again this season. And then, like I said, I'm going to group the living room in this video today as well. And then we're going to be moving into my kitchen and outdoor spaces later on in the week, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that YouTube notifies you when my videos have posted. And if you've been a long-time follower of mine, then you've been watching me cultivate all of these pieces for quite some time, because I am primarily a haul channel. But then when we get to this part of the year, I really start implementing a lot of decorating into my channel. It's just something that I thoroughly enjoy and love so much. So I'm really happy to be able to invite you into my home and share it with you and give you any inspiration or tips and tricks into the process. Also, I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed or feel like you have to decorate on any level to how I've been doing it. Like I said, I have been spending quite a few years in building my decor. So I don't want anyone to feel any sort of pressure. This video is just here to serve as a space where you can come watch and get any inspiration. And I also want to say that it does take sometimes years to pull it all together. So just want to throw that out there. But this year I am making some updates, and that's what I'm finding as I've been building this collection and building like even the color palettes that I love. I'm very much a traditional fall color kind of girl. So while a lot of my longtime followers have watched me kind of decorate very similarly throughout the years, this particular year of 2025, I am doing some upgrades here and there. So it's really like my upgrade year, if you will, and I'm showcasing what those upgrades are and how much it actually cost to also marry into my existing decor. Because, you know, sometimes your style changes or you kind of like figure out like where you do want to make improvements, because I do set a budget for myself every single year. So my budget was actually very low for this year in terms of like the overall house, because I have cultivated already a lot of material. So in the media room, we are gonna make only a couple of changes, one of them being the pillows. When I looked back at this space and I saw what I did last year to this year, I was like, okay, how do I wanna upgrade this space? And I knew that the pillows was exactly where I needed to go. So that's what we're gonna do this year. And we're gonna be switching out my movie posters. If you're new here, I do change out my movie posters for every season, every holiday. What you're seeing behind me is my summer collection. There's also another poster back here, but you can't see it because it's on this wall and it's summer rental, but you are gonna see that later. And unfortunately, I included a last minute upgrade to this space that I was not counting on. But when I realized I was gonna have to take down these frames right here and do my movie posters again, these frames are on their last legs. I've actually been taking a staple gun and stapling like the corners because it's like falling apart. I'm like, okay. And the backs are very difficult. They're like the little tabs and they've been breaking off. And I've used these for a while now, but I think I've reached their use, unfortunately. I wish they would have lasted at least 2 or 3 more years, but they're done. So I did have to make a purchase on Amazon. And so I definitely upgraded to a much better frames. So hopefully those will last me now. I'm hoping for at least 10 years at this point. So we'll see how they do, but I'm gonna be throwing up the total cost. Anyways, as you can see, I still have summer everywhere. And then I've just been kind of like piling stuff on the couches and like decor. We've been buying like, you know, random stuff. So first things first is I always start with a clean slate. I get everything out and then I start to deep clean the space and then I go in to decorate. But the very, very first thing I do is I put on my favorite fall movies to get me in the mood. You've got mail. And this is exactly what I was talking about. See, and I have stapled the back of that corner many a times. You can't staple in the front because then you're gonna see it, unfortunately. And probably maybe some Gorilla Glue could have helped with that, but new poster frames are incoming and they're actually a black border. I've gone from black to white and now I'm going back to black. So when I was deciding what needed an upgrade, if at all, in this space, because if you watched my first video, I didn't do anything to my dining room and to my office, so the budget came to $0. I made some updates to the entryway, however. And so when I looked back at photos and my videos of this space, as I said, the pillows were really number one. So going back and forth, I have a very orange theme throughout the entire house. And then I found these gorgeous plaid pillow covers. It's actually very soft. I wish you guys could like feel through the screen. But with the black walls, I was like, you know what if I just kind of do something a little different? Because there for a second, I was about to pull the trigger and get the exact same orange pillows that I have in the living room. And I'm like, is that too much? I don't do very well with playing with different patterns and colors. I want everything to sort of like be matchy throughout the entire house. And while I do know I enjoy that, I also on the same hand want to experiment with different patterns. So, and I love a good plaid, so I was like, this will still be safe while keeping this room kind of like unique on its own. So I did get these from Amazon and I got a total of 8, 4 for this couch and then 2 for each oversized chair where Micah and I usually sit. So I'm gonna go ahead and start covering each of the pillows. All right, guys, and the media room is done. I think the one clip I didn't get was that I decided to put this blanket right here. I love stars. It kind of like fit with the color theme, and I didn't want to buy new blankets. I actually had it in my like to-do list to just go to Home Goods and grab some blankets, but I was like, no, I already like have some on hand. I'm just not a fan of them like not being the same color, but I was like, you know what? We're gonna keep the budget smaller, so I opted for keeping like mismatched blankets, and these are the ones I've had in the past, so they're super cute. Again, the only thing that I bought this year for this space were these pillow covers and this little guy. I think he was $12.99. So if my price is correct, it's either like more or less by like $1 or $2. So I think I got it kind of on the money. And like I said, I'm not going to count the picture frames just because I didn't purchase them specifically for fall. This is just an all year round. The media room just like gets the movie posters, and it was just happened to be that time where they, you know, needed to be updated. So I just went with these, although I could have saved a little bit more if I would have waited for the Hobby Lobby sale. But I needed this video to go up, so I did just kind of like go with Amazon at the last minute. And they were like $89.99 for the 4-pack. But it could have been a little cheaper, but again, not included in the upgrade cost. But anyways, everything else I've had on hand. You saw a price tag on these on this one, I think, but I've bought so many of these in the past, and sometimes I leave like the tags on it and don't even know it. So just FYI on that. Yeah, all of these things I've had in the years past. So, the pillow covers cost a little bit because they're like $22.99 for a pack of 2, and I needed 4 total packs. But that's it. That is the upgrade and what the media room looks like this year. I think the difference is pretty crazy to me, and it really just turned out to be the pillowcases. So I'll put like a little before and after from last year to this year so that you can kind of like see how the $100 and the upgrade cost, how it kind of gave it a little facelift. So the next area in the house in today's video is going to be my living room. And you're already looking at one little update right here, which is a new rug, and it's actually green. I have never done a rug of this color before, but this is not going to be included in my update total because this wasn't done for fall. The updates really are just for all the things that are fall that come out for this specific time of year and then just go back. But in terms of what my living room looked like last year to this year, there have been some foundational changes, if you will. I call them foundational because they're the pieces that I don't move out for holidays, if that makes sense. So like the furniture, the end tables, things like that. The end tables are also new. You're gonna see them in a second. I used to have black end tables. Actually, last year I had even different end tables. I had like a wood coffee table, and then I now have this white ottoman, which is just currently pushed up against the couch. There's a lot of work that kind of needs to be done in the space. I still have some like leftover 4th of July things here. So yeah, we've got to be putting up these pillow covers. But I did the same thing. I went back and looked at my photos and videos last year to see what I had and where I wanted to make some updates. I think it takes like real talent, in my opinion, or it takes a talented person. You may not know you're talented, but to me, it's a talent where somebody can take different patterns, different textures, different colors, but yet make it all look cohesive. I cannot do that. I am not good at that in the slightest. I can make all the pillows match in a solid one color, and that's as far as my brain can sometimes go. So next year, I am going to be looking at making some pattern, different color options for fall. But for now, when I took a look back, I was like, okay, there's a couple of little things I think I can do to give the space an update. And so we're gonna get this whole room cleaned as per usual. Start with a clean slate, remove these pillow covers, and then I'm gonna just try out my new decor that I got. If it doesn't work, it gets returned. And let's go ahead and get started. My navy pillowcases I actually use twice a year. Navy for summertime and also navy for Christmas. At least I used these last year. I probably will again this year. And using pillowcases is a much cheaper way to outfit your pillows rather than buying whole pillows, and also easier to clean as well, and saves on storage space, so you're not storing a bunch of thick pillows. One of my favorite things to do in my living room, and I do this pretty much all year long, you just didn't happen to see me pull it up because I already removed it prior to this video, but I love a plaid blanket laying flat on the seat of these chairs. So I've had these for a few years. I'm gonna use them again. However, I just had an idea where when I looked back at this couch, it was pretty white, stark white, and then I had like orange pillows. I'm thinking, what if I do these on there too? So I decided to go ahead and order them. So those are gonna be a new update in the living room. Now this idea to do the plaid just came to me as I was filming, and I just so happened to have another one here that I ordered from Amazon. But originally when I ordered this, I had the idea to put this in my back patio. I have one in my office, which if you watched that first Decorate With Me, you saw that I put it over my chair. And then I have the two here, and this is my newest one this year for 2025. However, I just ordered one, and I think for this year, I'll just forego putting this in the patio, and then maybe next year I'll buy another one. This is about $25 on Amazon. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one on this seat and then one on the next seat. I just thought it would look nicer if they looked a little bit separate, where you can still kind of see the break in the white. I didn't wanna like drape it all the way across. So we're gonna try it in sections and see how I like it. In the meantime, I'm just gonna borrow the one from my office just so that you guys can kind of get an idea, because this is not gonna come in on time for the video to release on the day I want it to release. So let's go ahead and now do the couch. What I also love about this trick is that if you own a dog, but you also want white furniture like I do, it helps to kind of keep the white furniture a little bit better covered. And then these can just easily go, into the wash. All right, so I'm done decorating in the living room, and there was pretty much everything remained the same. So I kept my fireplace the same decor, the same setup, and I did look into kind of switching it up. I thought about bringing more in of like the fall leaves and this look up here. Then I was like, you know what, no, this works for me. I really like it, and I decided to keep it. And the same goes for this area. I kept it all the same. I even pulled out the glass so that these smaller pumpkins could kind of like sit up higher, or else they just get buried beneath it. An upgrade I did consider was putting these topiaries away and bringing something in with more of like that fall foliage. But as much orange as I'm doing, I was like, you know what, this really kind of helps to break up. And I didn't want my house to look too AI, if you will. So, I mean, maybe another season, but for 2025, I'm glad I kept it as is. I could add like little orange bows to those if I wanted to, but I decided not to do that either. And I didn't want to also over bow everything. I'm not too much of a bow girly, but I do love them on the wreaths. I do have to kind of in a tricky way keep the camera pointed down because I've also been simultaneously working on my kitchen, and I can't show you guys that reveal quite yet. Now this is where the biggest transformation actually happened, and it was the couch. The couch truly did it. Having the different furniture as well, like changing my foundational pieces. So I have this ottoman here now this year, and I have those end tables, and then just adding like the pumpkins on the table too, just gives it a nice cozy little pop, adds a little something over there. I don't think I put anything on my end tables in 2024. So I think the little pumpkins over there just gives it the perfect little touch. And then I had this extra pumpkin, so I decided to put it right here in the center. Obviously it's a plastic pumpkin, so usually what I do is I push this up to the couch, and then I just kind of like lay on it like a lounge, and then I'll just like put the pumpkin aside. So not a big deal. It's just me and Micah living here, so it's not too far-fetched and unrealistic or unfunctional for us to like have decor set up like this, but probably having little kids around, that might not be functional. You could just like lay a blanket over, but doing these on the couch I think sealed the deal. And also having a pillow to break up the orange, whereas I didn't have that last year, like this truly made the entire space so different. Now you're also noticing that I have a different rug. That's Loki's new toy for his birthday, but I have a new rug this year, and she's green and beautiful, and I do think that it also obviously gives a little facelift to the area, gives it a little bit more color, and also green just goes so well with fall too. So I really like that. And this area right here also remained the exact same. As a matter of fact, I had to switch out the pumpkins, excuse me, I hit the tripod. I had to switch out the pumpkins from up there because I specifically painted these that go on this table because you can see it from the back. And so I just had to paint them, or else it just looked like unfinished and really bad. So that was a project I did last year, but otherwise this whole area remained the same. And that means that my only fall update was the 2 extra plaid blankets and the pillow from Kirkland's. So I'll add the total here for the updates to the living room. And that is my Decorate With Me Fall of 2025, completing the living room and the media room. So if you're new here, I've done my entryway, my office, my formal dining room, and now these 2 spaces today. Come back, we're gonna finish the rest of my house. We're gonna do my kitchen nook, which you're all already getting a peek of it right there, and the kitchen, which has the biggest transformation in my opinion from last year. And you guys are just going to, I hope you're gonna love what I did. Very, very nostalgic. So if you're a 90s girl, you're gonna love what I did to the kitchen. So don't forget to subscribe, come back and hang out with me, and I'm gonna show you guys how I decorated the rest of my house for fall. Bye.